Before I continue to the social, I want to address two issues which are facts, and I think it will stir up a lot of question, or maybe you didn't know, but it's important. The first fact is about 1 in 5 of the world's children and adolescents have mental disorders. Did you know that? And number 2, about half of the mental illnesses begin at the age of 14. This is serious because when we grow up, parents tend to assume the adolescents when they need them the most. That is why you find mental illnesses start at 14. Children are anxious. Children are depressed. Children all over the world have no parental supervision. So if you are a parent and you have a young child, or you have a teenager, an adolescent, please make sure you spare some time to listen to them so that you may know whether they are suffering from a mental illness that is not diagnosable. Maybe it's something that is small, but with time it will grow into a mental disease. Because depression, number 1, is a mental disease. The child might get stress. Stress is a mental disease. And as the child continues to grow, they might experience bipolar disorders. Maybe they're not sure who they are. And when you're not sure who you are, you tend to have two kinds of personalities. And that is where you'll find many adolescents growing up and having bipolar disorders. So I hope those facts were interesting enough and challenging. On to the third dimension, which is the social dimension. The social dimension includes 3 aspects. We have the cultural, natural, and built. The cultural basically is relationships between you and other people at your workplace, where you live, in social gatherings. How do you relate with people? Are you able to make, glue together, and continue with relationships? Are the relationships that you have toxic, or are you the one making relationships toxic? So how do you relate with other people? Make sure while you relate, you are able to make good relationships. Making good relationships keeps you stable, because friends are everything. A person without friends is a person without a crowd. You know, when you have a crowd in your life, sometimes when you're having trouble, they come and comfort you. That is cultural. So let's go to natural. The natural aspect of the social is the surrounding. Where do you live, or where do you work? Where the area of work, are there fumes? Is there pollution, or is it fresh? Are there trees around? You know the environment that you work in. The environment that you are around is very important. It will either stress you or relax you. When the area is polluted, you will feel stressed. You might get home in the evening and you wonder why you're feeling as if you've carried 10 kilos of something or 10 bags of something, but you've just sat in a polluted environment. So we should be vigilant and aware of our environment and know how we can neutralize the environment enough to have a free space in our mind so that we don't even get tired. The last aspect of the social dimension is the build. I know most of us don't know this, but the building, the shape of a building affects us psychologically unknowingly. You might be so disturbed that the lobby of the place you work in is so disorganized. So every time you get to work, you get angry from the entrance. We should know how to deal with different areas, the arrangement of your house, the arrangement of your cities. Nairobi is too chaotic as it is. There are buildings all over, cars everywhere. Can you compare really between Nairobi and your rural home? There's a very big difference. That's why you find most of the people working around Nairobi are stressed, depressed, and anxious people. But when you go to the village, everybody is free. Nobody knows what anxiety is. Maybe they know what stress is because kila mtu anapenda kusema na niko na stress, but they don't know how to explain what stress is because they have not really experienced it as much as people in metropolitan areas have experienced. So our built environment affects us one way or another. Another thing in the social dimension, we should have good communication skills while interacting with people. That is under cultural. When you're interacting with somebody and you cannot put your point across well, they might not understand you. That makes it hard for them to even reply to your questions. Have you ever texted somebody, or somebody has texted you something that you really don't understand? You keep replying wrong answers. You keep maybe saying the exact opposite of what the other person meant. So when you're texting somebody, when you're talking to somebody, how good are you at putting across your point? So all of us have to learn how to have good communication skills. Finally, we have being technologically aware. Under social dimension, we should know new developments technologically, because we might be struggling doing things the old-fashioned way, for example using Skype, which probably is outdated because ilikuwa ya kitambo sana. We can now use Zoom. Maybe there's another new software. So we should keep ourselves technologically aware. Last dimension we are going to cover in this video is the spiritual dimension. What is spirituality? Basically, spirituality is the relationship we have with a greater power other than human power on earth. It is important to have this dimension in our life. The main ingredients in spirituality are 1, truth, dignity, number 2, integrity, faith, hope, and love. Without a spiritual life, or with a fragmented spiritual life, we tend to be more fearful, anxious, angry, depressed, and everything that is probably negative. Why? Because we are not anticipating something will happen, or we are not anticipating good out of something. We see God in different ways. Christians subscribe to God through Jesus, and that's their faith. And Buddhists, they believe in nature and all that. So basically what I'm trying to say is we all see God in different things. Others see God in people, others see God in water, others see God in nature, flowers. I mean, there are so many ways that we can see God, and that feeling itself makes us positive. That keeps away the pangs of anxiety. That keeps away anger. That keeps away depression. This way, we are able to keep calm. Spiritual wellness does not just happen. It requires time and attention. One of the ways that you can keep spiritually well is 1, through meditation, solitude, and self-reflection. It is good when you feel like everything is going upside down to go sit down by yourself in an empty room or in a quiet room and meditate. It calms the storm in your heart, in your soul, in your mind. You'll find that meditation heals, sometimes, it's not proven, physical pain. I won't say it's proven because I am not a doctor, but basically you can meditate and feel pain has left your body. So it is important to keep yourself spiritually well. But before I finish the video, I want to leave you with one myth and misconception. We basically think, almost every one of us think that mental health problems are rare. But the fact is, 1 in 4 people will experience a mental problem. This means that someone you might know might be struggling with a mental illness. Even you. Throughout the video, you might have realized that you're probably suffering from a mental illness without your knowledge. Maybe because you have not balanced the dimensions of life. You've not balanced physical with your social, with your psychological, and with your spiritual, because all these aspects of life are codependent, and if they're not balanced, you have a problem. So we should be aware of those around us that are struggling and make sure that we help each other to remain mentally stable. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And also, if you have questions, you can you can ask them at the comment section, and I will answer you during our question and answer sessions. Thank you so much once again. Signing out. Wamaithanganga.